Okay, this is the video you all have been waiting for. It is time to share my final kitchen reveal. As most of you know, this kitchen renovation process has been months in the making. And I wanted to make sure I shared with you guys some of the images of before we started the renovations. Now, these are the images that were used for the listing of our house when we purchased our home. And as you can see, it doesn't look absolutely terrible, right? But of course, staging photos always make things look bigger and nicer than what they are. But I wanted to give you guys some real life examples of what this kitchen looked like when we moved in. And it was dark, it was old, it was dirty, it was dingy. It was not fun to cook in this kitchen. And the cabinets were pretty old, as you can see here. My husband originally wanted to do a major renovation where we ripped everything out and got everything brand new. However, our budget did not allow for that. So I was able to convince him to do as best we can on our own and see what we can do in order to transform this space into a more beautiful place. So I began looking for inspiration online and I found this beautiful kitchen that you see on the left. So I created a mood board. I did this for a couple of reasons. First of all, I wanted to make sure that all the elements that I wanted were cohesive, and putting it in a mood board helped me with that vision. And second of all, it helped him see what I wanted for the space. Now, I only made a few changes to this original mood board, but most of the things you see here were actually put in place in my new kitchen. Also, if you want to learn how to create one of these, I do have a tutorial and I will link it in the description box below so that you can learn how to create a mood board as nice looking as this. Now, the first thing I did in order to be able to live in this space while doing this renovations was clean and replace all of the contact paper that was in the cabinets. I wasn't planning on painting the inside of the cabinets because they were actually in pretty good condition. They just needed to be clean and recovered. So that is the first thing I did when we moved into the house, and I felt so much better afterwards. Now, the renovation actually took a little bit longer to commence because the first thing we needed to do was remove all of the flooring, the popcorn ceilings, as well as all of the trim and molding around all of the windows. We decided that we wanted to update the look of the house, and we thought that it would be best to go ahead and start with a clean slate. Now, the first thing I did was paint everything, including the crown molding. I will list all of the colors and all of the products that I use in the description box below. That way you guys can check them out if you're interested. Now, giving this a new paint job completely transformed the space immediately. Now, the next thing on the agenda were those cabinets, and they were pretty bad. First thing we did was sand all of the cabinets. We had to wash them afterwards and then paint them. Now, I do have two videos showing the exact process that I use on these cabinets because the prepping was a little bit different than what I normally do when I paint kitchen cabinets. And I also have a very detailed how to paint your kitchen cabinets video that I'll link in the description box below in case you've ever thought about painting your own cabinet. Because we had a very tight budget, I decided to clean all of the existing hardware, prime it, and spray paint it with an oil rub bronze spray paint. Now, while we use the old hinges, we did replace the actual cabinet pulls for something newer. Next, it was time to remove those countertops. The countertops were granite, but they were outdated, dark, and had a lot of hard water stains on them. After the countertops were removed, we decided to go ahead and put back the doors on all of the cabinets. We opted to do butcher block countertops because it was inexpensive and it was something that we can cut and install ourselves, saving us quite a bit of money. I have more detailed videos on our kitchen process and everything that we did, and those will be linked in the description box below as well. And during it all, we really tried to have some fun along the way. Even though this is kind of like a mini makeover because eventually we might be tearing everything down and putting everything brand new, I did want to buy some staple items for the kitchen, like a farmhouse sink, because regardless of whether or not we keep these cabinets forever, we will be able to reuse this if we do decide to change out the cabinets in time. However, even though this may be temporary and only for a few years, I did want to do a really good job and make sure that everything that we did do in this could last for a long time. And that includes installing nice fixtures. And we also replaced the windowsill in the kitchen before moving forward and doing a new backsplash. Now, keeping in mind that our budget was very tight and we may eventually change this out, we wanted a backsplash that was not going to cost us too much and not going to be too difficult to remove if and when we decide to do a major renovation years down the road. So we opted for beadboard, and we only ended up using 2 sheets, which only cost us $40. Now, if you recall how dark the kitchen was in the beginning of this video, I knew I wanted it to be brighter and lighter in here. Painting the cabinets and the walls definitely helped, as well as replacing the light bulbs. However, I did want undermount cabinet lighting in order to give the house a different glow and different lighting options. So we went ahead and installed those. Now, one permanent change that we were definitely going to make to the kitchen was installing an island in the area where we used to eat. Now, whether or not we're going to change out the rest of the kitchen in the future, this is actually the one part that will remain the same. So we went ahead and bought pre-made cabinets from a local cabinet supply. We use beadboards in order to hide all of the side seams and also to tie both sides of the kitchen together. We also use the same hardware as the rest of the kitchen for the island. We installed new windowsills, and there will be a video coming out on how to do this yourself in case you've ever thought about adding windowsills or casings around your windows. Since our island is so big, we wanted a large chandelier to go above our island. And again, to save a little bit of money, we use some legs from another table that I would use in the kitchen in order to add legs to the island in order to support the big countertop. Now, because the island is going to be a permanent fixture in our kitchen, we opted to just go ahead and buy quartz for this countertop, and I am so happy that we went with it. We definitely used a local vendor, and we're so happy with how it turned out. This was definitely a splurge for us. However, since we had saved so much money at the rest of the kitchen, we thought that this was totally worth it. the time the island and the light fixture were complete, we were so excited. However, there was one more item that we needed to address big time. When we purchased the house, we bought a new fridge and replaced the dishwasher, but the stove was fairly new. However, it was pretty disgusting. We didn't have it in the budget to replace the stove, and I didn't think it was necessary. Plus, if we do end up replacing the stove, we're going to go for gas since we do like cooking with gas. So we decided to take it apart and give it a good clean. But this was all the food that was accumulated on the glass portion in between the layers inside of that door, and we had to get it out. So here I went with my cleaning materials and cleaned the heck out of this stove. Going back to that mood board, there was one thing that I had to deviate from the original plan, and those were the chairs. I love these crossback chairs. However, for one of them, I would have paid $169, and it was not in the budget. So I went to Facebook Marketplace in search for another option, and I found these 3 bar stools that were in great condition for only $50 for all 3 of them. And while they're not the color that I prefer, they do have great bones and are in excellent condition. So I may be refurbishing these in the future and painting them to something that would suit my kitchen's new style. So the second thing that I deviated from the mood board was the faux brick that I had shown. My plans were to originally remove all of the left cabinets that you see that surround the sink, and I wanted to actually create a faux brick wall back there. I thought it would look absolutely lovely and include open shelving. However, the extra storage was actually really helping us, but we did remove that extra panel that was underneath the very top center cabinets. We did that to add more light, but then it exposed this really ugly light that was underneath those cabinets, so I started sewing. I had some fabric from previous projects that worked in my old home but didn't work for this one, so I repurposed all of my fabric and I did this really cute farmhouse valance to go in that area, as well as a matching under sink little skirt. This process took several months in the making. However, I am happy to say that our kitchen renovation is finally done. Do you remember how dark it was before? It's no longer dark, and I now love cooking in my brand new kitchen. Adding that island to the eat-in kitchen area really added a ton of space and makes the kitchen so much larger. Everything is so bright and clean and functions perfectly. I love the cottage as well as a little bit of a coastal feel that this kitchen has. It's light, bright, everything is clean, and I have a brand new plate rack on my kitchen wall behind the island because that wall was just so empty, and I made these faux antique cutting boards out of scrap wood, and I will be sharing a tutorial soon on how to make those yourself. Now, while this may not be my dream kitchen and we did a lot of the work ourselves, I am so happy with how it turned out, and I am looking forward to using this space for many years to come. I really do hope you enjoyed this transformation. Let me know in the comments below what you think of our kitchen renovation. Thank you guys so much for being so patient with us and waiting for this final reveal. We appreciate all of your support and allowing us to share our renovations of our fixer-upper with you guys here on our channel. If you enjoy DIY home decor and renovations, please make sure to subscribe and stick around so you can see what else we do to our cute little fixer-upper on 2.5 acres.